Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the new Thunder Punch variant of Shadow Typhlosion with Incinerate in the Open Great League. And we're going to run a triple starter team that's also from my top team video with a newly buffed Pokemon. If you haven't seen this, going to be in the end card. But anyway, the buffs and nerfs are now live, and we can also take a look real quick here at what are actually the nerfs and buffs, because some of them were not directly clear yet. For example, Scald is going to get a 30% chance now of dropping the opponent's attack. It was 50% before, we were not sure if it's like 30 or 20%, and for Swift it is going to be 40 energy, so like it's basically Swift is a normal type Thunder Punch, which is a pretty bad move, especially as a normal type, because normal type moves cannot be super effective, and so yeah, Swift sadly not really viable on any of the Pokemon that learns them, but it is what it is, other than like Yuxi and I guess Ursaring. But yeah, this basically for the stats that we didn't know already. But yeah, today we're going to take a look here at a team that is going to be a triple starter team. And I have to say, of course, against Dragon type Pokemon, this team might look a little bit weak or whatever. But as you're going to see here already against the first matchup against an Altaria, we can go for the Ice Beam with the Feraligatr. Going to be able to knock them out. In comes here the Lantern, and we're going to be able to also finish them off with a Hydro Cannon. Bye-bye there. I went a total of 8-2 with this team, by the way, so a very good team to use. We're going to see every single battle here today as well, so that there's nothing cut out. You can see the entire power of Shadow Typhlosion. I have to say, from this team, I enjoyed Shadow Typhlosion the most. Like, doesn't mean directly that's like the best Pokemon ever. Most likely like Feraligatr and Superior have a little bit more bulk and a little bit more flexibility to it. But the ability of farming down entire Pokemon and just ending up with like 100 energy and like a lot of charge move pressure is just so much fun. Look at this here, for example. We're going to be in a matchup where I hope that the next Incinerate going to knock out the Gligar. That's very important for us, and we actually get the knockout. Now we're sitting here with 80 energy on a Shadow Typhlosion with perfect coverage against the opponent's team. Oh, in comes a Jellicent. That's kind of awkward. The opponent was able to, realign themselves, which was kind of awkward for us because we had a perfect lead. But Typhlosion doesn't care anymore. Look at this, Thunder Punch coming through again. Going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. Oh, we can go for another one. Going to be able to knock out the opponent's Jellicent here, and so we're going to see in the back Charger Bug being weak to us. We can even keep that Thunder Punch for later. This game is over, the opponent knows it, and they decide to forfeit before we can even go for that Aerial Ace, and we can move on to the next one. I have to say that this team was like so much fun to play. Definitely something I would recommend you again. Of course, it's going to be a little bit tricky sometimes against those flying and dragon type Pokemon, but otherwise this team was just so much fun. Even against those, you can just go through them with the raw power of your backline. It is quite mad. Here we're going to see the Medicham, which I also showcased recently, and look at this. The opponent stops out into a Skarmory. That's lovely, isn't it? And look at the damage. Please, take a look at the damage of the Shadow Incinerate. Brave Bird comes through, like literally deletes half of the opponent's Skarmory. Is this not ridiculous? It is absolutely mad. By the way, if you can only get to one move and like one is resisted and the other one is neutral, it's always better to go for the Blast Burn. Blast Burn is just a very hard hitting move, and having this on a Shadow Typhlosion, as you can see here, even like the very negative type advantage that we have there against the opponent's Carbink didn't really matter. We can get a shield here hopefully. And now I think I can just believe in my Feraligatr. I know that I still have to go for a charge move here against the opponent because we only have neutral damage with our Shadow Claw, but it's going to be fine. And also, you know what would be fine? If you would leave a like on the video and subscribe, would really appreciate this, would help out the channel quite a lot. We're getting close to the 50-50 split in terms of subscribers and non-subscribed people, so would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel, as you can knock out that Medicham with a few more Shadow Claws afterwards, and we're going to be definitely in a very solid spot. As the Ice Punch is coming through, we're going to get shielded, found them down, goodbye there. A Germnaa on the lead, that's going to be quite nice for us, and in comes even a better matchup for us. Look at that Sandslash, getting completely destroyed here by Incinerate. And yeah, basically, if you didn't know this as well, Incinerate resisted from a Pokemon does basically the exact same damage as Shadow Claw. Poke tweeted this recently, so in terms of damage output, Incinerate after the buff like 2 seasons ago, I think, is always going to be the better option. But Shadow Claw going to be a little bit more flexible, as it gives you, like the 2-turn option of a move and not a 5-turn option, which can be quite decent as well. So really depends in this kind of regard, but still, as you can see here, it can completely destroy the opponent's Germnaa. Issue is, we don't have anything anymore for the Altaria. Not with the Altaria with 2 shields. Like, otherwise it would be kind of fine, but it is going to be kind of an awkward one. And it's going to be even more awkward because, as you guys see here, we're going to be forced to use a shield. We're going to get lower and lower in terms of our health. I can go for the Hydro Cannon to try to get the shield. I can get a shield. I can go for another Hydro Cannon. Now I hope that I can still reach another Hydro Cannon afterwards, but I was not too sure with the health that I'm at, and so I decided to swap out. I am fairly certain I would have been able to still get to another Hydro Cannon, and I should have tried it, because now the opponent is going to be in a range where, sadly, 2 aerial aces from our superior, as you can see here right now, are just barely not enough. I don't think that a Frenzy Plant does more damage than the aerial ace, because Frenzy Plant is double resisted, and so they're gonna survive with like a 1 HP, literally 1 HP. If I just went for one more Shadow Claw before swapping out, I would have won this game here. It is what it is. We can move on to the next one. Look at this, more Dragon type Pokemon, but let's see if we can still battle this one a little bit better here. We're gonna see that this matchup in the lead is also quite awkward. Of course, we're going to have at least some neutral damage coming through with the aerial ace, and we can see that we can two-shot the opponent. So we win this actually in the zero shield scenario, which is quite nice for us. So basically, snake against snake here is the opponent goes for their charge move. I can go for my aerial ace in return, and this is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. I decided to go into the Typhlosion just because I have great coverage on this Pokemon, and I do quite a lot of damage with my fast move alone, and I was hoping that maybe in the back I might be able to win with the Feraligatr. And we're gonna get the hardest answer out of the way for the Feraligatr, which is going to be that Poliwrath with a Thunder Punch. Look how much damage the Thunder Punch did against the very bulky Poliwrath. I know they're like Shadow variant as well, but still, that was solid damage. And in the back, it's going to be a Trevenant. You might think, oh, water against grass, that's horrible. It is actually quite okay for us, because we have a super effective Shadow Claw damage coming through from our Feraligatr. We're going to be able to go for that Hydro Cannon, and I'm just going to go straight for my next Hydro Cannon, knowing that this should hopefully knock them out and expecting that they wouldn't swap out immediately here, because they thought they might go for a crunch. I can win this game now, and we can move on to the next one. Maintain in the lead. Horrible lead here, right? It is still actually quite playable. What you should kind of do here is go for a Frenzy Plant. If they go for an Aerial Ace prior, let it go through, it is fine. If they don't go for an Aerial Ace prior, swap out into your Feraligatr. Because now you're going to have enough fast move pressure with both of the Pokemon in the back. Even the resisted Incinerate does quite a lot of damage. I could decide to let the move go through, but I still decide to use a shield here. Aerial Ace is coming through, and they're swapping out. Not actually, they're not swapping out here. So I can still go for an Hydro Cannon here. The opponent might want to use a shield, but they don't. And we will see what they have in the back. It's going to be that Whiscash, and that's going to be quite nice for us, because now we can align our charge move on a CMP type, so the opponent ends up with 0 energy out of this matchup. We can actually connect it against the opponent. Now I thought, do I go into my Typhlosion just to troll around a little bit? Should have most likely done this, because now the opponent is going to get into a Gligar. I can go for a Thunder Punch as they sneak in another charge fast move there, which is a little bit annoying. Thunder Punch goes unshielded here, which is actually quite nice for me, because now I hope that I can still survive one Aerial Ace and get another Incinerate through, but I don't, and so sadly the opponent is going to, I think they denied my fast move here, and I think if they really denied my fast move here, I was not really able to see it directly. This actually mattered quite a bit. If they didn't deny the fast move, if that actually happened, I was not too sure in this case. I would have won the game, but it is what it is. Very close, lost there, but we can move on to the next opponent. Oh look, it's a Pelipper. It's going to be such a bad matchup for us, right? It's actually quite playable. Like, honestly, it is quite playable here. We can decide to go for a charge move. Aerial Ace is coming through. And I was thinking here, okay, that's going to be guaranteed a Hurricane. And I am just going to use a shield just to be safe. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, that takes a little bit for them to get to another one. They go straight for one. I think they actually had the energy, but like, I was not sure anyway, and they decided to go for another bait. And so I can go for one Hydro Cannon. We have some lag there as well, but we should be in a decent spot. Hydro Cannon gonna get the shield, and they swap out into a Stunfisk. That is quite nice for us. But there's something that is not quite nice for us, which is not going to be any incoming Rock Slide. But at least they went straight for the charge move, so we can go for the full farm down immediately with Typhlosion, and we have the Thunder Punch stored now. But they are running, we will see it, the Bastiodon, and Bastiodon is not a Pokemon that you want to go for Thunder Punch against, and they might be even able to get a free fast move in there. And so we're going to be in a little bit of an awkward spot, as the Blast Burn is going to still burn them though. Like, look at the damage that Typhlosion does here again, knocking out one Pokemon, getting 1 to 1 HP. Now it's down to Superior to win this game. Aerial Ace is going to be able to connect, going to be able to knock them out and win that one quite easily. Next opponent, we're going to have the Feraligatr in the lead, which is a quite decent lead for us as they swap out into the Cresselia. What you want to do here is you kind of want to wait out. Why do you want to wait out? If the opponent is running Moonblast, you can swap out into your Pokemon in the back there into your Fire type, as Fire types are going to be able to resist both the Fairy type move of Moonblast, but also the Grass type move of Grass Knot, and there's basically no way in this current meta that someone would be running both the Future Sight as well as the Moonblast, so we're going to be in a very decent spot here. I can go for another Thunder Punch against the opponent, and so we're going to be able to now connect this one as well. And we're going to see here that we can do quite a lot of damage against the Feraligatr with that Incinerate. The opponent can go for a Hydro Cannon, and we can just align ourselves with our Superior most likely. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to go into the Superior. They're swapping out into the Gligar, and so I can go for a Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is going to be able to do quite some decent damage. We can try to catch one Aerial Ace from the opponent. We can do this, and for whatever reason I still decided to use a shield here because I was like, I'm not too sure what I want to do here. I know that I have a very simple endgame here if I farm down the opponent, but I just didn't really know what I want to do here. To be fair, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to let the next Aerial Ace go through, and now I can just go for a double Hydro Cannon against the opponent's Feraligatr, and that should be able to seal the deal. And as you can see here, we can farm them down and win that game. Next opponent, Poliwrath in the lead. This battle was actually nearly cut out. I just realized it in the middle of the recording that this one was missing. But here we can still see it. We're going to have another Cresselia swapping into us, which is totally fine. We can keep some energy here. That's lovely. We will see them going for a charge move. If it's Moonblast, again, we can swap out into the Typhlosion. It is a Moonblast. And so we are going to be able to just swap out into the Typhlosion. And here, this was actually one of the earlier battles. For whatever reason, it wasn't in so far. We're going to be able to let this move go through. Moonblast is going to connect, and I still decided to go for a Thunder Punch here because I think they would have been able to reach another move, and I did not expect that Moonblast would do that much damage against me. Doesn't really matter because they go into the Poliwrath anyway, and so we can go for that Thunder Punch, get the shield, and they decide to go for the full farm down. I have to wait out the clock here. I know it's a little bit annoying, but waiting out the clock is quite important, as now we can go for another Frenzy. Frenzy is going to get the final shield from the opponent most likely. Never mind, as they're going to have the Typhlosion in the back, we can say goodbye to the opponent as well. Final one for today, we're going to have the very bad lead of Charm Ninetales in the lead against us, which is something that you win in the 0 shields, but I think you lose in any other shield scenario. Maybe even the 1 shield you can still win, but you're never gonna win this in the 2 shields. So they can realign them guaranteed, but I can also guarantee catch a Weather Ball here, which is going to be great, as it's going to be a resisted hit. They decided to swap out into the Lantern, so thank God I didn't use a shield on the resisted hit, because, yeah, like this, we're going to not give the opponent too much. Again, Sparker got nerfed this season, so Spark is now only a 5 damaging move, which is quite good in my opinion, which I really like as a nerf, because now they cannot farm us down as easily, and so we can see here as well, they can go for a charge move. And what I decided to do here is maybe actually a little bit of a riskier one. I'm not too sure. I decided to use a shield here against the Surf. I think it would have been better maybe to just sleep all on it for the Typhlosion. Would have been cool to get a like insane sweep with this Pokemon. But as you will see here, they have a Typhlosion answer in the back, which is going to be that Lickitung. And so Body Slam going to get shielded, but we have to be a little bit careful that the opponent doesn't catch the move. Alright? Kinda. Not really actually, because you have to get to that Blast Burn anyway against the opponent's Ninetales. Charm would do a lot of damage against us, even though it's resisted. I'm kinda happy that we're gonna get rid of them. I would have liked to get the damage of the Incinerate in here, because then my charge move would guarantee knock them out, but we still have the Frenzy Plant here. We have to kinda hope this is going to be enough. Is it going to be enough? Let's find out here together. It is, and so we can win that game. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. As you can see here as well as some proof, I actually did go 5-0 with this team without any cut here. Got a squad for that, and we can move on to the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.